writing a whole book on it called Keto Fast. Because of the massive and magnificent benefits it has. I don't know of a more powerful metabolic intervention to improve health than multiple water-day fast. Except you have to do it carefully. You just can't do it willy-nilly. And if you're taking medications, of course, you need to do it with medical supervision. But done properly, the benefit is just beyond profound.
Oh, well, I can't wait to read your book and hear all about that. Speaking of keto, we're a little keto crazy over here right now because we have Keto FX going on at this
That's
time.
Right.
So, and since that's keto water fasting, does that mean that you advocate for the keto diet and the lifestyle?
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Then my last book, Fat for Fuel, which was published May of last year, goes into all the science of it and how it upregulates and improves mitochondrial function, and the rationale for using it as a primary strategy for treating almost all chronic degenerative disease, such heart disease, cancer, diabetes, obesity, and neurodegenerative diseases.
Oh, and this is something that I find interesting because I do have the markers for Alzheimer's. I've had my 23andMe tested. And
the ApoE4 allele?
Yes, APOE4, yeah.
And are you single or homozygous or heterozygous? One or two.
I'm homozygous.
Whoa, you have two ApoE4 alleles?
Yes.
Do you want the good news or the bad
news? Go ahead and give it to me straight.
Okay, well, it's actually really good news, especially for someone with what you're doing. And this is, I didn't figure this out. Dr. Dale Bredesen, who's probably the smartest guy, the smartest clinician. He's an MD. He might not have a PhD, but he should. If he doesn't, is Dale Bredesen, and in Alzheimer's. So he's the expert on this, and he taught this to me. That a 250,000 years ago, all humans were homozygous for the ApoE4 allele. All humans. So it's just recently that this mutation occurred, and actually it's adaptive, and it actually will help and prolong your lifespan if you're doing a regular form of fasting, either intermittent and or water fasting. So that just means you have to fast if you want to stay healthy. If you don't, then you are at a definitely increased risk for Alzheimer's.
Right, and my grandmother had Alzheimer's and died of complications from her Alzheimer's. And so, yeah, I'm very careful about what I do, and I definitely fast. And now I'm really interested in this water fast because that sounds, I've actually had a few people tell me that I should probably look into doing something like that. And that, for one thing, I heard that it actually helps clear when you have mycotoxins and any type of like heavy metal toxins in the brain. And is there any truth to that?
No, it definitely facilitates and upregulates detoxification, but there are proteins that accumulate in Alzheimer's, and one of the benefits of multiple day water fasting, not intermittent 18, 20, 22-hour daily water, intermittent fast, but multiple day, and this really doesn't occur until after day 3, it starts about day 4 and 5, is where you massively upregulate autophagy, which is your body's ability to clear out the senescent cells. A senescent cell is a damaged, or not a damaged, but a cell that has lost the ability to reproduce. So essentially, it's taking out the garbage, clearing your brain of those damaged proteins, and removing them. So that's really why it's so important. And I'm co-writing this book with Dr. Alan Goldhammer, who is the director of the True North Clinic in Northern California, and they regularly, they're the premier, I don't know if you've heard of them before, but they fast people regularly for 40 days with supervision in an inpatient setting. So they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for 30, 40 years. So I'm excited to share their information.
That I'm really excited to get a chance to read about this and see about doing it myself. So
strongly recommended. And if we have time to meet, I'll give you some personal guidance on some specific strategies for you. So.
Okay, awesome. Yes, we will. We'll definitely have time to meet at Paleo FX. And so back to Paleo. What are you most excited about for your first Paleo FX experience?
Well, I was actually surprised. I was disappointed that I was never invited previously, but I guess that was just because they couldn't connect with me or something. But I've always really wanted to go. I was impressed with the speaker roster, and I'm particularly intrigued with the exhibitors. Mm-hmm. I was at Bulletproof for the first time last year, and I was just blown away by the exhibitors that were there. So there are some really high-level people who, I mean, and for me, most of the knowledge transfer was occurring in the exhibits, not in the lecture hall. So I'm really excited to connect with the exhibitors.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think our exhibitors will be really happy to get a chance to connect with you as well. So your Paleo FX talk is not well-known biohacks to radically improve your health. So what can we be looking for? Stuff like this, like the water fast?
Water fasting is a big one. My version of ketogenesis, which involves cyclical ketogenesis, which requires, after you achieve the ability to have metabolic flexibility, to actually emphasize the importance of regularly increasing, not continuously, but intermittently, the amount of healthy carbohydrates and proteins that you have. But the big one that one of the other books I'm writing on is called the EMF Extinction. So especially with Alzheimer's and neurodegenerative diseases, the EMF exposures that we have are radically decimating cellular health and mitochondrial function. So there are some simple strategies you can do, and I'm going to outline them on how one can take pretty aggressive measures to remediate the challenges of this exposure. So it's a big one. It's a really big one.
Oh. I'm definitely interested in that one as well. Anything that we can do to limit EMF. We have a new system that's coming to our office. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's coming to our office. It's an EFS system. It's supposed to. Well, honestly,
what does it distribute the internet signal?
Honestly, I'm not real sure. It's supposed to be a treatment that you do for your body, and it's supposed to help radically.
It's a therapy device.
Yes, okay. It's a therapy device.
I'm not familiar with it, but the most important thing with EMF is prevention. So you want to lower your exposure, and the most important way that people can do this is by essentially, everyone's heard about turning your Wi-Fi router off at night, which is like brain dead simple. There's no reason to keep it on. But it's more important to turn it off continuously, 24 hours, to not have it on at all. Not that you shouldn't have access to the internet, but you just need to have an alternative hardwire structure. So that will radically lower your regular exposure. And the same thing goes for your office. If you're living and working at home, then it's that solves both of them. But you obviously have to address the place where you're spending most of your time at.
Right, and then I'll come to your talk so then I can hear some more about this.
We can meet her before or after, and I'm glad to fine tune because there's some simple strategies that you need that can really make a huge difference for you.
That's awesome. Okay, so your Health Entrepreneur FX talk is hard lessons learned and how to succeed online. And considering that you have one of the largest medical health and wellness sites online and worldwide, I can only imagine what you know.
For the last 13 years, but we've been online for 20.
Yeah.
So if someone is interested in attending my talk, there is a great book to read, which is called Black Box Thinking. Mm-hmm. And it really identifies or emphasizes the importance of embracing failure and learning from it. And unfortunately, the tragic reality is that most of the healthcare system has not done that, unlike the airline industry. And there's a lot of reasons for it that the book goes into, but it's just an unmitigated disaster when that happens. And I'm going to share some of my biggest failures and what I learned from it, and how is actually by embracing that it turned out to be a good thing and really helped catalyze and transform my whole process online.
That's awesome. Well, I put Black Box Thinking on my books list, so
yeah.
I'm definitely going to be checking that out. So have you ever been to Austin before?
Oh, yes. Many years ago, I visited the Whole Foods headquarters. I think I was at a small event seminar. It might have been 15. Actually, it was an old girlfriend. That's how I can time things. So it was like 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. So it's been a while since you've been here. But...
No, I enjoy Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure it's grown quite a bit since then. There's no doubt about it. Yes, and it's the place to be. It's the place that Tim Ferriss moved to.
Yes, it is. Tim's moved here. We have quite a few people actually moving this direction. But yeah, it is. We call it the epicenter of the paleosphere. So, and it has,
primarily because of your event.
Yes, well, that, and we have also one of the largest paleo meetup groups in the country. We go back and forth holding that honor between us and Boston. So,
did not know.
Yeah, so we have like one of the largest in the country. So we're really blessed by having it. So it was a great place for us to choose to do this here. Sorry, my glasses are like trying to come off here. What's your favorite thing about Austin, if you remember? I mean, it's been a while since you've been here, but what was your favorite thing about the city of Austin?
Well, the only one that comes to memory is it was a Whole Foods headquarters, and it was a pretty nice store. I'm sure they've changed it since then. But, I've gone probably hundreds of cities since then, so it's hard to remember any other characteristics.
No problem. Well, yes, they have changed the Whole Foods headquarters, and it's actually within walking distance of the Palmer Event Center. So it's a great opportunity for a lot of people to be able to go over there and check that out. The Palmer Event Center. I'm sorry?
I might be fasting when I go. Sometimes, one of the other strategies I've learned is to take a holiday from your supplements. I certainly take a lot, well over 100, but it's probably a good strategy to take a week off a month from your supplements. And a good time to do that is when you're traveling. So this way, it's less hassle factor to lug all your supplements around. Oh
yeah, that makes perfect sense. Well, the great thing about the Palmer Event Center is that we are literally on Lady Bird Johnson Lake, which is also, for a lot of people, know it as Lake Austin. And it's right there with a really incredible view of downtown, and it is within walking distance of Whole Foods. There's also
can people swim in there?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Little cold thermogenesis. I don't know what's the temperature
Honestly, the river does change, but Barton Springs is literally about 1.5 miles down the road from where we're at, and it is 68 degrees year-round.
Oh, that's nice. That's almost ideal. If I was to pick a temperature to do cold thermogenesis, it would be mid-60s. I think that's the ideal. So, 70s you're not really getting much, and below 60 it's just darn uncomfortable.
Yes. It's funny because even in the dead heat of summer in August, when it's triple digits here, I have a difficult time getting in Barton Springs. For me, it's too cold. But I have been trying to do, so we've got a sauna. And so I've been doing the kind of the contrast between the hot and the cold. And so I do get into a cold shower, but I can say it doesn't last a really, really long time. But I do sleep like a baby whenever I do the sauna in the evening and do the cold shower. So
yeah, it's a powerful strategy, and that's probably a biohack I won't have time to go into, but definitely one I fully embrace and seek to implement myself. Because when you can lower your body temperature by a few degrees, which you're easily able to do when you jump in a pool that's in the 60s or lower, you will sleep better and your dopamine levels increase. It's just a magnificent strategy, and it improves your heart rate variability. It's good biohack.
Speaking of heart rate variability, I noticed that you're wearing an Oura ring.
Yes.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, this is the Gen 1, which is not that good. But it is the best fitness tracker on the market, bar none. Nothing comes even close. Maybe the Apple Watch does, but it's obviously who wants to wear an Apple Watch. And plus, it has LTE, I think. So you'd have to turn that off. It'd have to be in airplane mode.
Right.
So the beautiful thing about this is that you could put it in airplane mode, which most devices you can't. It tells you how you're sleeping, because if you're going to biohack, you want some objective indexes as to how your biohacks are working, and sleep is one of the most important. It's a step counter, but that's not as important as the levels of sleep that it assesses, and also your heart rate variability and recovery index, which gives you an idea as to when you need to take a day off. Like last night, it tells you your lowest heart rate that occurred last night. Now, my heart rate went up to like 63. My lowest heart rate was 63 last night. Normally, it's like in the mid 50s. So I took today off for any strenuous training. You wouldn't know unless you have some type of way to access those biometrics.
Right. Well, we're really excited about Aura Ring coming to PaleoFX. It'll be their first time to come to PaleoFX, and so
it'll be the Gen 2 ring will be out.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that because this Gen 1 has its challenges.
Well, I think that they fixed a lot of that, and they are everybody's really excited about this Gen 2 ring, and yes, they will be there, and it will be out by then, and so we're looking forward to getting ours. Keith and I are getting Aura rings as soon as they start coming out, so we're excited about that. But
it's wise to wait for Gen 2.
Yeah,
no question. And it's more elegant. It looks like a wedding band, as opposed to this gaudy ornamental ring.
Well,
but it works.
But it works. But it does help. But that's one of the things too, is that I do track my sleep pretty regularly and want to know how I'm doing sleep wise, because I even when I feel like I've gotten solid sleep, I'll look at the tracker that I'm using currently and see, oh, actually I really didn't. I didn't hit all of my the different stages of sleep, and if you don't go through all of those, of course, you aren't getting all the benefits of each stage that you need. So anyway,
the deep sleep is particularly problematic for most people as they age, and that's the one that I'm really most focused on. It tends to decrease quite dramatically as you get older consistently. In fact, that was one of the reasons why Mark Sisson chose not to use the Oura Ring, because when he used it, he consistently was getting 0 minutes, and he didn't believe it. But the reality is, it was true.
Well, I'm hoping that I'm assuming that you'll have some strategies for trying to fix that when you aren't getting that sleep, and how to maximize that and biohack a little bit there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we're so excited to have you coming, and it's funny. I did reach out to you the first year, but I got one of your people, and they were like, no, not so. I'm so glad that we finally connected and that we're getting you to PaleoFX, because I've been following you for years, and it's funny because there are people who will tell me, I can't believe you get into a tanning bed, and I'm like, well, there's a lot of benefits to that, and especially when you spend so much time inside under fluorescent lights, and you're not actually getting really good vitamin D.
We used to sell tanning beds. The FTC stopped us from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would redesign it now. I'm not a fan of fluorescent light tanning beds. I think the LED, UV, UVA, and red and near infrared combination of a bed would be much better. A little more expensive, but a lot safer, because fluorescent lights are not healthy lights. Not only do they have mercury in the bulbs, but they also actually transfer electric fields directly into your body. So I stay away from all fluorescence. And if I'd known what I know now, I would have redesigned the bed that we did produce quite differently.
Yeah. Well, we do have a UVA, UVB bed with infrared at our offices, and but like I said, most people spend most of their days under fluorescent lights and just don't get that good vitamin D.
The tanning bed you have is probably a fluorescent light, more than likely. There's very few LEDs. I have not even seen one. I'm actually consulting with a company to help them create one so they could recommend it to people.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge, they don't exist. It's pretty new. It's a new concept.
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. You're probably right, because I don't know a lot about those. But I do know that you have advocated for that in the past. If you're not getting,
but the best thing is to get outside, Michelle. You're in Austin, Texas. This time of year, you're still a little further north than me. But in February, there's some UVB out there.
Oh yeah.
You structure your schedule so that you can go outside to sport bra and shorts at solar noon, and get at least 15 minutes, preferably, ideally an hour, but at least 15 minutes on a regular basis.
Oh yeah. Well, when it's cold outside, that's when I use it. Is when it's cold outside. That's when I've used it. Because for me, I have
a combination. You get cold thermogenesis when you go out with little clothes.
Okay, so there's another knowledge bomb there for me to use. Anyway, well, we like I said, we are so excited about you coming, and we just really cannot wait to get you here and everybody hear what you have to say. So in the meantime, though, can you please tell everybody, if they don't already know, which probably they do, but if they don't already know, how do they find you online and in different places?
Well, all you have to do is know how to spell my name. It's Mercola. So I got online 20 years ago, and I was fortunate enough to have my last name as my domain. So it's mercola.com, Mercola. And we have Facebook feeds and Twitter and all that too. But our website is our primary resource. And we actually have it published in 10 different languages.
That's awesome.
To help spread the information across the world, because it's not only the United States that's in need of this information, other countries need it too. So we actually have a pretty big site in China, Japan, Russia, Germany, so Spanish, of course. So it's not in Korea.
That is incredible. That's wonderful information to know. So that's awesome. Well, we are, like I said, we're just really excited to have you coming. And everybody, Paleo FX tickets are on sale right now. You definitely want to get those. The link will be in the comments, and we want to make sure that you get the best price that you can during this ticket sprint, because when these tickets are gone, they're gone for good, and the price will increase the next time we open up the ticket window. And make sure you get yourself signed up for Health Entrepreneur FX. It will be the day before Paleo FX, and we have Dr. Mercola coming to talk. Go ahead.
It's a pricier event, but if I can share my own personal experience, because one of the ways that I was able to succeed is I attended a lot of events like this, not this one, of course, but similar ones where I was able to find these types of strategies, these novel strategies, and use them and implement them. So it may seem like a lot, but it's actually a pretty good investment of your time and resources.
I agree. And I'm looking forward to learning from you at this event as well. And so make sure you get online, you fill out the application, and that you get yourself into Health Entrepreneur FX. Seating is very limited, and we will be that will definitely sell out. We've sold out every single year, but having Dr. Mercola.
I think there's only 30 seats, isn't there?
No, it's 80 seats.
80?
It's
okay,
80. That's 80 seats. That's it. But that does include staff and speakers and everybody. So that's a total of, so I guess it's less than that anyway. But we have a total of 80 people that will be at this event. It's small breakout sessions. And you definitely want to have the opportunity to learn from Dr. Mercola and how he's built his online empire. I know that I'm looking forward to that myself.
Well, I'm not giving specific details. I don't want to deceive people, but more importantly, the philosophical general principles that you need to adopt and apply to your own specific circumstances.
Agreed. So you guys, make sure you get online, you get your tickets. All of the links will be in the comments and in the notes. And we look forward to seeing you at Paleo FX and Health Entrepreneur FX, Dr. Mercola.
All right. Well, I'm very excited. It's really one of the big events I'm looking forward to this year.
That's amazing. Well, we can't wait to see you. Bye, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you again soon.